recording started there. So again, this is Kamaile with Wellness with Mana. Mahalo everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. And as I was saying earlier, you've been invited to really listen in on something that is extremely exciting. It is exciting because it's truly a technology for our bodies to really progress into the future so that we can talk directly to our cells instead of trying to supplement it either through nutrition and or through our supplements that we've been so used to doing. And it's so amazing that this Hawaiian girl that has been studying La'au Lapa'au and Hawaiian healing and indigenous ways for quite some time actually stopped, took a listen, and was blown away. So I'm going to share a little bit about what I was so excited about. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and let's see here. One moment. Let me just make sure that I'm on the right one here. Yep. So share screen, and here we go. We're at about a half an hour worth of some really amazing information that you can hopefully take in, digest, think about. We are certainly here to answer questions after the this little presentation is over, and that we can definitely jump on a phone call with you if you have more specific questions that you'd like to be personally answered. So, well, this, guys, if you haven't already heard, this is my motto in life, and it always has been. I've been in Hawaiian healing for a really long time, for the last 18 plus years, either practicing it or teaching it in some way, fashion, or form. And it's all about building wellness rather than treating disease. And we know, I just read a post that the care, the number of, the amount of money that we would have to do on specific types of treatment for care on average is probably, 20 grand or more in order to actually help certain diseases or treat certain diseases. And oftentimes that is just trying to treat the symptoms and not really get to the core of it all. And we know this oh too well because it's oh too present in so many lives, and it just seems to be happening at a younger and younger age. You don't have to be 65 now or 75 or 85 to experience this onslaught of illness and dis-ease. I have a lot of clients and a lot of friends who are actually dealing with things such as autoimmune in their 20s and 30s. And it's because of the environment that we live in. So this is our typical Instagram, page, right? We're eating healthy, we're exercising, our goals are being met, we have money in the bank, we're not stressed out, we're on vacations, we're enjoying friends and family time. Really, the reality, guys, behind all of that pretty pictures of what I call the Instagram world is this. We are dealing with a world pandemic at the moment. We're dealing with, we don't know how to deal with things, right? So we're also trying to figure out how to do school at home, how to do extra work at home. Oftentimes we're on multiple devices. There's stress going on. There's a lot more month at the end of the money because of so many things shifting, right? A lot of times that leads to stress, that leads to ill choices. That means we're not eating as properly or as healthy as possible. And oftentimes we're just feeling overly taxed and fatigued. And unfortunately, that seems to be that low-lying level of stress, whether or not we pay attention to it on the daily, or we just kind of keep going through our emotions, that it's all truly affecting our immune systems and our cellular health. And overall, this combined ends up showing up at the doctor's office through the tests that we take or through the illness that we went to go and see them about. Is because of what is called the root cause of what we know to be oxidative stress. So we're going to dive into that a little bit more today. I love sharing that even though there's all this stress, that epigenetics, the study of epigenetics tells us that 97%, up to 97% of our genetic code can actually be changed through the choices that we make. Choices such as these on the right: meditation, diet, nutrition, environmental factors. Some of those we don't have control over, a lot of them we do. Our sleep qualities, the ways that we choose to de-stress. Are we getting enough exercise in our world, and just outside activities, right? And even down to relationships and community building. All of these are huge, and they actually have done studies where they've put on monitors between the heart and the mind, and they realize that when we are opening our hearts, when we are building community, when we are a part of something larger than ourselves, such as joining hands with us in this business, we are actually contributing to the well-being and the changing of our genetic structure and the way that our immune system attacks all this low grade levels of stress. And we at we at LifeVantage are doing it through biohacking, what is called biohacking. So this is the company that we linked arms with. This is whoever invited you to hear this information. Is so proud that we stand with a company that has integrity. It has, we're at the forefront of Nutrigenomics, which we have been for the last 11 plus years. And the way that we're taking our technology into the future is just mind-blowing. I'm extremely not only proud, but very excited to share that LifeVantage is a company that I get to represent on the daily. So when we go back to the word biohacking, though, and that's truly what LifeVantage has really mastered, is this word biohacking. I, as an Indigenous health practitioner, I did not resonate with that at all. But when I started to understand and break down the word biohacking and realize it's just taking control, like epigenetics has been showing us for 15, 20 years now, that it's taking those choices, giving our bodies and our minds control over how our genetic expression or outcome is going to be health-wise. Guess what? You've been biohacking probably for a really long time. That choice to make, to go into yoga, that choice to, to eat a home-cooked meal versus, that Big Mac on the way home. All of these things are just small little added choices that end up adding to the health and wellness of our well-being, right? And we're doing this at LifeVantage through what's known as Nutrigenomics, another word that I was unfamiliar with. Nutra, obviously taking from nutrition, right? And we know that I've been practicing that for quite some time. But when we combine that nutrition and combine it with science in the way that we're putting it together with compounds, naturally occurring compounds, we again are affecting our genetic expression. We're affecting our genes. We no longer have to be victim to what we thought was coming at us: heart disease, ALS, breast cancer in our family. All of these can actually be reduced in the chances that we are projected to have these ailments, and or possibly even totally rewired and changed to not only affect our bodies in the here and now, but also to affect the generations forward. And that's our main goal, right? We're going to be looking at how we're going to do this, right, through LifeVantage's theories of aging, the 3 theories of aging. We took the 3 theories of aging, put them into basically bottles, and we've called them LifeVantage to Protandim, and this is known as our Tri-Synergizer. We're going to start off with our flagship product and how it differed and how it actually sprouted this whole evolution of nutrigenomics. It's really exciting. So I like to show people that most people don't know what's going on. We actually start to age at the young age of 20. And what happens is we are actually rusting literally from the inside out on a cellular level. Just like this little old car, which looks awesome, but it's not going to go any further. And just like my computer needs a little update, we are actually rusting from the inside out as human beings. If we look at this in comparison, that whole rusting to an apple, And what this is known as is oxidative stress. We take a beautiful cell or a beautiful apple, and that's our God-given ability and right to live, to exercise, to have a great immune system from the get-go. We leave that apple on the counter. Better yet, we cut it in half, and within minutes, it starts to turn brown. Guess what? Oxygen obviously is important and imperative to us to live, but it also is one of the first theories of aging. It is the demise of our cells, because what happens is when those too much oxygen actually starts to cause what is known as free radicals. Those free radicals want to pair up with something. They end up bombarding our cells, trying to find a mate, if you will, and that is known as free radical damage. What we don't want to happen is this last column here, which is the demise of our cell, the breakdown of our cells or that apple, and that actually just ends up leading into either cancerous states where the cells are starting to split off, or they start to die off, and we start to see cognitive inabilities show up within our mindsets. So how do we get past this, this oxidative stress? Well, here it is written out again. It's the imbalance of the free radicals due to the numerous daily assaults. Before I move into how we can combat that, I'm just going to share real quickly. People ask me all the time, Kylie, how does this happen? You know, why do we age so quickly? Why is all this stress going on? Well, here's some of the ways. Just the fact that we're eating, the metabolism process causes extra free radicals. Too much exercise, too little exercise, the pesticides and the environmental toxins that we're faced with on the daily, the cell phone towers, the low grade levels of stress that I was talking about, cigarette smokes, you know, all of these things end up having an impact, and we're actually being bombarded by sextillion amount of free radicals daily. That's a huge number to combat on the regular. And so this is how LifeVantage comes into play, guys. I'm really excited. Now, I tell people all the time, definitely you're gonna wanna eat proteins rich in amino acids, definitely antioxidants. That is one of the key ingredients that we've known for many years, almost 2 decades now, to help to combat free radicals. Cruciferous foods, kales, broccolis, you know, your leafy greens, sulfur-rich foods. All of these are definitely going to add to activating that, you know, those cells back into health, right? And combating that, those free radicals. However, look at the amount of antioxidants we would have to eat or drink. 89 glasses of red wine, guys. 375 fresh oranges, and I'm talking on the daily, 11 pounds of blueberries, 15 pounds of dark chocolate. I mean, the list goes on. We cannot eat enough to combat that sextillion amount of free radicals happening daily, those assaults happening daily to our cells. It's literally like putting out a blazing fire of inflammation within our body with a little Dixie cup of water. That 1-to-1 ratio that that we have known to do, like say we take 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, or we consume that in blueberries alone, that only cancels out 1,000 free radicals. It's just not enough. You can kind of put the math together. So what we have known to do at LifeVantage through Nutrigenomics, the study of Nutrigenomics, is no longer supplement. It's no longer going in that back door. It's no longer trying to, you know, assimilate to our bodies and try to get as much nutrition as we can. Hopefully our gut is healthy so that we can absorb all of those nutrients, you know. But a lot of times we don't even know it, but our gut is not in the proper state to actually accept all of that yummy nutrients and to help to fight it against aging process and ward against illness and disease. So this is where this really amazing technology comes in. It activates, it talks directly to the cell. It activates a pathway. So if you can imagine this little yellow dot as that, you know, those herbal goodness of our products going in and talking directly to the cell recognizes it. And so when it rings the doorbell, it literally lets it in and flips on the light switch to tell our cells, in this particular case, with this first theory of aging, we are activating what is called an NRF2 pathway. Okay, this is where it gets a little, you know, science heavy. I get it. But all that does is that little light switch that it's turning on is telling our bodies to make millions of antioxidants per second, per cell. So we finally have found a tool to actually upregulate and downregulate depending on what your body needs, because you're your own thumbprint, right? Can't tell you what it's going to do within your body. It's going to do its own little magic because your bodies are just being given the right tools to turn it on the way that our bodies were initiated and designed to do, to ward off against, you know, so many things. We just didn't know that in today's society we'd be dealing with so much to actually, you know, be the demise of our cellular system and showing up in different ways with ailments and illnesses. So this is exciting, guys. This is why we're sharing. And this is all our Kuleana. We are sharing. You're taking in the information, you're processing it how you want to, and you get to choose. You get to decide today if this resonates with who you are and what you would like to do to activate your health back into you know, a state of well-being. So we do this. This is the next question that I usually get is, what's in it? 5 herbs. What I want to point out here is it's synergistically blended. We've known these herbs for a really long time, and I'll go into it in a second. These are herbs that have been used for literally millions of years in some some countries and indigenous traditions. However, when our Dr. McCord and a team of his Ayurvedic doctors got together and realized that it was the synergy, the blend, that these herbs, when coming together, are 1,800 times more effective to actually activate that cellular pathway, we were golden. That's when they were like, okay, we've got something, we're going to introduce it to the world. It is absolutely amazing. And this is what they introduced. Back in 2005, Dr. John Quinones went in to actually debunk Dr. McCord and his doctors on an ABC primetime news report. They were like, oh yeah, we're going to call you out on this one. You'd say you're turning back the hands of time? No way, dude. He ended up getting his blood drawn, and his oxidative stress, remember we talked about that, was reduced by 45% within 2 weeks. And we're only claiming, we're legally claiming on PubMed.gov, I'll explain that in a second, that we can lower it by 40%, on average by 40% within 30 days, about 70% within 120 days. It's absolutely amazing. And so what happens is this superoxide dismutase, the catalase, the glutathione, those are all maybe foreign words to you. Those are all of our master antioxidants. Those are all being raised up. Look at that glutathione by over 300%, guys. That's a study where doctors go and find in a library, and they look up these studies to show, is this effective, not effective? This is what we have behind us. It's 26 plus peer-reviewed studies. There's 31 in the works right now. So turmeric, milk thistle, green tea, bacopa, ashwagandha. Again, all indigenous herbs that I almost all but one had in my cupboard or was growing in my own garden. It just didn't come together right. I wasn't putting the right cocktail of combination, but Dr. McCord and his team has now put it in this little yellow pill, is what we call it. And this is exciting. Here's some of the things that it does, just real quickly looking at it. Helps to upregulate and downregulate the body's ability, the survival genes, repairing our own cells, slows down the aging process. All of these things are absolutely amazing. Because why we want to do that is over 250 illnesses and diseases, guys, are actually linked to this oxidative stress. That is something that you can do your own research on. You can look, if you have diabetes coming in to, you know, that is known to be in your family and coming at you specifically, you can actually go and type it up, diabetes and oxidative stress. Find the relationship between the two. And then when you can do the math, say, okay, well, if I reduce my oxidative stress, doctor, is that going to help me? Pretty much 90%, 99% of your doctors are probably going to go, yes. I know that reducing oxidative stress is hugely impactful in helping to treat a lot of these illnesses and disease, or at least treat the symptoms of, so we can get to the core of it all. It's really, really exciting. Here's some of the organizations and the universities that have actually done some of those studies that are up on PubMed.gov. Like I said, we have over 26 of them. 31 are in the works altogether. These are big associations. American Heart Association is definitely one of them. Johns Hopkins, Harvard, Texas Tech. So all of these heard about the studies that Dr. McCord was doing, and they started to do their own research in and around activating NRF2. In fact, Washington State University said this: it's potentially the most extraordinary and therapeutic preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. Exciting. All right, real quickly, we're going to just run over the next couple of products, the next theories of aging, and that's called mitochondrial health. So they, again, looked at why are we aging? This next product actually activates a pathway called the NRF1 pathway. And again, it's an all-natural products. As you see here on the bottom, it supports against cellular aging, against mitochondrial dysfunction, something that you, again, can look up on PubMed.gov. It increases our ATP, and basically, ATP is basically we wouldn't be alive without it. It is the powerhouse or the energy source of our cells. It's like this here, which is the engine block. Mitochondria actually produce up to 95% of our body's energy. We're actually 10% body weight mitochondria, and most of that is up in our brain area. So when we support that, we're supporting healthy sleep. I like to say this because a lot of people are plagued by sleep issues, is that, guess what? If our bodies are constantly giving the tools, right, to actually repair during the day, guess what we're doing at night? We're actually getting a good night's rest. That is ultimate goal for all of us, because guess what? Good night's rest means that we're sleeping better, repairing better, thinking better. There's so many different side effects of just sleeping alone. So when we can improve that sleep quality, we have a double plus, okay? The next being that the pathway that we're activating is what's known as NAD. Now this is exciting. It's new on the market. It's new within the scientific community and the research, the doctors. However, they're starting to really realize the benefits of it all. NAD is actually activates our survival genes. By what happened was, is a set of doctors, again, in regard to our company, they're separate from our company, started to realize, again, why are we aging? Let's even get deeper than those first two theories of aging. And so what they started to look at was actually like intermittent fasting. That's why it's such a huge buzzword right now, right? It has been for a while. But they did intermittent fasting, but took it extremes deeper and actually asked people to do caloric restriction for like 500-800 calories a day, which is like one meal for most of us, for long periods of time. What happened was this NAD molecule in our cells that is just doing its normal job actually started to increase. And they noticed that it fed what was known as a family of proteins. Now those proteins are professed to go into the cell, how's this? Pull apart that strand of DNA, fix what's defunct, put it all back together, and then vacuum out the outside of the cell so that all the crazy wonker neuroreceptors that was making the cell, you know, act and react differently, the way that it defunct, really, is now on its merry way being healthy and happy again. This is huge. Dr. David Sinclair, who did this initial research, hopes to live to the age of 120 in a 56-year-old body. In fact, I read a study the other day from a scientist researcher that said the person that is going to live to 1,000 years of age is alive right now, and they just don't know it because of the cellular activity that we're really exploring. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. We're at such a pivotal place to be in the health industry and to really move forward with our health choices. And this is where I encourage people, oh, it's so excited to reevaluate what you're doing with your health care systems right now. At the end of the day, guys, this is what we're doing. We're just aiding our bodies. We're giving it the tools that it needs to help with antioxidants, to boost our immune system, and to really detoxify those. All of those coupled together, all of those three coupled together actually are almost 2,000 times higher in some aspects of regulating, upregulating, downregulating our genetic expression. It's really exciting when you get into that. And I won't go into that today, but we can certainly look at that later if you're interested. This is it. We're no longer supplementing our deficiencies. We're no longer chasing our tails. We are literally activating our pathways to control the aging and the healing processes. So who doesn't want to be a part of that movement? I want to control my aging processes, my healing processes, you know. I want to definitely live longer, healthier, have the memories with my son, with my family, as long as I can, with as much health as I can, because being sick and living old and being in the hospital, you know, is not my idea of the quality of life that I would like to live into my old age with. This is us. We are small but mighty. This is our amazing plethora of products here. We went over the anti-aging trifecta. We take microbiome and our gut health extremely seriously. We have a beautiful probiotic, prebiotic. We actually take that into the weight management system to help with your hormones and your gut health. Nootropics, Smart Energy, it's huge right now because it's basically taking that science and helping it and targeting our brain to help to ward against you know, that afternoon crash, the fog, you know, the mind fog that we get, the stresses that we're putting on just the thinking process, and so much overstimulation. And then, of course, our organ, our largest organ is our skin. So we definitely want to make sure that we're not putting added toxins in. But not only we're not putting added toxins in, because we're rated at a 0 to 1, maybe 2 on the hair care and skincare system in the EWG apps. But we're also putting that technology of that science going into the cellular structures and really aiding our bodies. And then, of course, our pets, anywhere from horses to bunny rabbits and anything in between, our doggies, our kitty cats, they're all suffering much quicker because their lifespan is much shorter, oftentimes by this oxidative stress. So when we can heal also the family member that is a 4-legged family member, oh, our hearts are happy and makes us more healthy as well. Our immune systems go up when we're happiest. So how do we get started, guys? This is it. It's so simple. And honestly, if you break it down, it's so inexpensive. $127.99 sounds like, oh my gosh, ding, 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 you know, oop, oop, oop. Break it down, $4.17. Can you do without the extra tall coffee at Starbucks, you know, for forever, for the next couple of months? Can you do without, you know, a little something in your life so that you can reinvest into your health? Because this is where it's at. You know, all those little things aren't going to make you live longer. There's some studies that are pretty amazing that prove to the opposite. So I urge you to take a look at this and really get started today. If you're more interested in actually a larger savings than that $127.99 a month, where you that's the subscription price, get a bundle, save, get something for either for a couple months for yourself or for your whole family. You can save up to actually 35% by actually getting one of these bundles. And 60% of our customers are so blown away by their own results, even their doctors are being blown away, that they actually want to share. And in this kit, we give you a little sample pack so that you can share it with your family, share it with your friends. And if you're so moved to do so, we are always looking for motivated people to join our teams, to link hands, to actually, you know, bring in another source of income in this stressful time, and to actually grow with our company. I think we're going into 24 countries right now, and we're just growing rapidly because we're finding that worldwide, this is the newest buzzword in regards to health. So that is it, gang. I'm going to stop share. I am more than happy to answer any questions if any of you should have any questions. And like I said, if you would rather get on a private call with either myself or somebody else that has invited you, we are more than happy to help. You definitely don't need to be me if you decide to, you know, link arms with us. I am one of those ones that love to dive down this rabbit hole and to find out everything scientific that I can. So I do this call from the bottom of my heart just so that more people have the opportunity to share it with people that they love. So, all right, guys. Well, if anybody doesn't have any questions, then I'm going to go ahead and let everybody go. There will be a recording of this. And yes, you're welcome. Aloha, Sean. Nice to have you here. And Andrea, I haven't seen your face before, but nice to have you. Aloha, everyone. Much love, Shiori. Yes, aloha. And Val, nice to see you. I see your fan. Bye, Miss Kristen. Love you.